What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of Nosedive, where we bring you guests who show us how numbing less and living more really does work and how you can incorporate these pockets of joy too. Today, we're talking with Bryttany Hyde, founder and CEO of The Little Sober Bar, a mobile bar and small footprint bottle shop. We're stoked to talk about your journey, why you decided to start Sober Bar, and your experience through it all. And I just want to give a huge thank you, first and foremost, to Bryttany for sending over a bottle of La Petite Victoire, a non-alc sparkling Blanc de Blanc, which is so good. And just want to raise a glass. Cheers, guys. So excited. And Bryttany, welcome to Nosedive.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, we have to drink after you
You have to
cheers.
drink after. Yeah, exactly. Or else it's bad luck.
Wow, okay,
So,
that
yeah, we
pronunciation was just like, oh, la, 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 la.
Oh,
my
Fancy.
français is coming out.
Yes.
Indeed. So we wanted, yeah, and just to give a little backstory. So Bryttany and I connected through social media. Instagram is just really, y'all, it's amazing. I found the
Mhm.
Little Sober Bar on Instagram when searching for places to buy non-alc drinks on my way home for the holidays, and there really wasn't that many to even choose from in the surrounding like Atlanta area.
Mhm.
So I just love seeing what you're doing for the community and being this beacon of belonging for events and sober-ish people. And I specifically love your motto: every event isn't dry, but every event has sober a night that is. So
Mhm.
let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about you and, yeah, how you came up with this concept.
Yeah. So a little bit about me is I've kind of been an entrepreneur forever, like my whole life. Um, so I think in how can I fix things, right? I mean, our mo one of our mottos is stay curious. So like I definitely feel like I personally embody that vibe. So I'm like, oh, that could be better. Or, oh, that's not fair. Like I'm very curious about like the why behind things. Um, so in my own sober curious journey, I started because I just really wanted to take control of my mental health. I realized I was just not the best mom I could be, not the best me I could be. And I started asking myself like why? Like why do I feel that way? Why is every day hard to like get up every day? Partially because I was drinking like every night. In the suburbs, that's
Yeah.
where we live. Like it's not uncommon for bus stop beers, and like with COVID, it got worse. Um,
Wow, yeah. Bus stop beers. I haven't heard that
I
one before. I've
know.
heard like the mom wine culture, but yeah, bus
Bus
stop
stop
beers. That's a new
beers.
one.
yeah, it was a vibe. Listen, I'm not knocking it at all. It's just for me. Like you live your life. I don't judge. Little Silver Bar, like me as a person, like I don't judge. You live your life. But for me, I was not recovering well. Like there's people out there who could like clean their house and do things, and for me, I was like, no, I'd rather just sleep all day or and then another bus stop there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Mm.
Totally. Yeah.
Um, so I was just like, this is crazy. Like the culture behind it is for me is just I need another option. I need a better option. I want to be able to go out and like hang out with my friends, but like not drink and not feel like I had to lie about what I was drinking. So that whole idea of a little sober bar came from that whole like it's not fair feeling.
Well,
Mm.
that's such a
The
synchronicity that
honesty.
you
Love
say
it.
that. Yeah, because like when I was growing up, that was like my motto. It was like, it's not fair, it's not fair. So I love that
Ooh.
something really great came out of that. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I used to say that all the time. But yeah, Mara, what were you gonna
Yeah.
say with the truth kind of behind it? Like when we get down to that like layer of what we actually want. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, gosh, there's like so much to say, but I first of all, wow, Nate, I didn't know that about your little motto thing, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And Brittany, I really appreciate the honesty of like it came out of this belief that I had that it's just not fair, because I think sometimes it's hard to like sit with the truth of like this like I was in a place where I was like, fuck, this sucks. Like, why me? It's hard to admit that we feel that way because people are like, oh, don't be a victim and like this and that. And it's like, dude, but we all go through this and we actually all feel this. And when people are transparent about that evolutionary process and they don't just skip that part, that piece that we actually do go through, it like normalizes it and helps other people realize it's okay to fucking say that. Like you're not alone in that. So I really appreciate you being like, yeah, I was having this thought that it's not fair because shit, I still have some of those thoughts,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just felt like people should have the same amount of options, no matter if you choose to drink or don't drink. And like it was like a hill. I was like, it's just not fair. I want to be able to, the part that I loved about drinking was the flavors and the fact that I could go to like a bar, or like for my birthday one year, we did a seltzer hop. And so we went to different like breweries around and tried different seltzers. So like, to me, it's like the experience and the community and like getting to try new things was always the underlying of why I was drinking as much as I was drinking. So, because I would just drink and not eat. Also that.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Yeah. Totally.
That's the truth of it. It's like, as much as I wanted to feel, there was also this part of, like, I learned about ADHD and being on the spectrum a little bit. And that the addiction mindset, too, for me was dopamine seeking. Like, I was just like, oh, I want to try something new and I want to do something crazy. And like, what flavor is this? And let's try the new thing. And I don't know. There's a lot of that for me. So that's kind of where this evolution of the sober bar came from.
Totally. Yeah. Can you share with us what the Little Sober Bar is for people who may not know, who haven't stalked your Instagram yet?
Sure. Absolutely. So the Little Sober Bar is an alternative bar and market. We are primarily mobile, so we do festivals, private events like weddings, birthday parties, all kinds of things. And then we also have small footprint bottle shops. So we're opening our newest one in downtown Woodstock.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm so excited for you on that. Yeah, that's so exciting.
What does small footprint bottle shop mean?
Yeah, so for us, it means we are very curated based. So we don't just have all of the, major players in the non-alc industry. Like we do have some, because of course every bottle shop has that. Like if you go into a traditional bottle shop, you know that you have the regular players and then you have stuff from all over the world, depending on the type of bottle shop it is. So for us, I don't believe that the non-alc industry is ready for, like, my dad calls them, the Howls is a huge liquor store. So that's what he calls like the 2-story ones. I'm like, I don't think we're ready for like that in the sober industry. So I think like having a small footprint bottle shop where you can find all these alternative options, spirits, wines, and then cans, and learn about how to use them in like a small community-based setting, but still be able to go back and join the party, because that's where I think we're at in the industry.
Whoa. Yeah, I've never actually heard the explanation of that concept, and I can see how, like, on the flip side, I'm sure there are a lot of non-alc brands are like, yeah, I want to get in all of these major retailers for accessibility. But then on this flip side of like, well, wait, it's actually a little overwhelming for people who might be very new to the space and understanding of like what they like or what's even out there, because there really is a lot, which is like very exciting, but it can be very overwhelming. So yeah, I love this concept even deeper. I mean, that's like awesome. It's like very curated. It's like almost white glove.
And we work with a lot of small brands too. Like that's, my heart has always been with helping others succeed. Like that's just that, it's like the whole it's not fair vibes. So like I'm here for the small guys too, because like not everybody has the marketing dollars to be on the Super Bowl commercial, you know? Like not everybody has that. And in the non-alc space, there's so many amazing people who've been doing this for a long time that just don't have the dollars to compete.
Wow.
So by offering, like basically we curate every season, so every season we swap things out. We're allowing like different brands to be seen. We're shifting into more marketing, so like helping them with that side. And then again, teaching people how to use products, and that way they can order them from us later or go to the brands themselves, or even shop at their local like Sprouts or Publix, you know, like wherever it's at.
Yeah.
People just don't know what to do with them yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and what to do with themselves, you know, like when they have this like awesome alcohol-free bev in their hand, you know, yes, it like takes down that barrier of like not having something in your hand and feeling awkward and things like that. But there's still a point where at first you feel awkward. Doesn't matter whether you have a drink or not drink, you know? So it's like,
Yep.
It's so interesting how it brings it all together, you know, and there's this like bigger conversation that you can have, you know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be this big thing, you know, it could just be like, I don't freaking want to drink today, you know, I have a big event tomorrow and I just want to like sip on something like tasty and awesome. So I'm going to hit up the little sober bar and like grab something groovy. No big deal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We're actually bringing our canned on demand concept to the new bottle shop.
Say that again?
What is that?
So basically you'll be able to come in and choose what spirit you want, what syrups you want, and what mixers, and be able to choose like 1 to 2. And then we can them. We have a canning machine and it like spins and puts a top on it. So you'll be able to learn how these flavors go together, but then also have your specific cocktail to go with you wherever you go.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Whoa. I know. I was just thinking that, Mara. I was like, oh, Mara's gonna love this shit. It's so like, it's so playful and like personal, and it's very hands-on and interactive, like getting into the process of. And I think it's funny. I think it's like the same thing with musicians or any kind of craft. It's like if you are a musician and you listen to music, you see it and feel it in a completely different way. So if you get people in there who are creating their own, you know, beverage, they are going to have a completely different appreciation for anything that they consume because of what it kind of goes, like what goes into creating something like that.
Yeah. We're super stoked. It's the coolest thing. I was like, I cannot wait to move in. And we were supposed to move in like July, then September. Yeah. And now this is exclusive news, everyone. We are potentially, and by potentially, I mean every day we've gotten an email that we're moving in on Monday.
Whoa.
So, like this upcoming Monday? Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
So we're trying. I know. I'm so excited. It's a lot of work though, because it's Thanksgiving week and I have kids and they're going to be working. I was like, you guys are going to earn your allowance this week.
Family business. That's how it goes. Oh, wow. That is like, I'm just so happy for you. Like, I can't even imagine. And maybe you can touch upon that a little bit, like the challenges that you've maybe faced throughout this entire process. Like, I know specifically in Savannah too, opening any kind of like brick and mortar is like the hardest. It's like the odds are against you or some shit, at least in Savannah. Like I haven't tried, but I've heard that from other business owners that it's like, they don't make it easy.
It's not fair.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. I need to get that as a shirt for our next like shirt line. It's like, it's not fair.
Oh, totally. I will buy at least 10 of them probably.
Yeah. I will tell you, it is tough. We've been in business for a little over 2 years, which is incredibly fast for the growth that we're at. Like we have 2 trailer bars, we have tent setups. Like we run. We hustle. but really because we just believe in the concept so much, we're like, let's just figure out what we're doing. So with our story, I had the one trailer bar um, that we built ourselves in 43 days because I lost my corporate job and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing. But also because you can do anything one day at a time. So like that was tough. The red tape and all of the like licensing and all of that was easy for the most part. I mean, I want to say like easy, but there's a few things where it's like, okay, how do we do this if we can't do that? So like serving drinks um in open containers, like we couldn't do that until we had a kitchen. And so it's just like, oh, that's a red
Wow.
tape. Um, but I really believe, like I said, in helping others succeed and making relationships and community and like really connecting with people. So um, we were lucky enough and we're blessed to have such great people around us. Um, Someone was subleasing out their space, and we were able to move into that last year. So we
Nice.
were able to have like the kitchen idea and storage for all the products because we were just trying to figure out what we were doing and like what we
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Right.
So we figured that out now. We got it.
Yeah. Lots of pivot
um,
moments, it sounds like.
Entrepreneurship is all about, I call it failing forward. You know, like if
Yeah.
something doesn't work, okay, well, how do we fix it and keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's,
what was the
it's
thing?
crazy.
What was the thing you said, Mara, about what are your mentors told you about like entrepreneurship? It's like a one-way ticket to like really getting
Oh,
raw and like
oh,
knowing about yourself.
it's the like express way to personal growth, like
Oh,
express path.
Yeah.
Like every single thing you can ever imagine is gonna light up throughout the experience, and you're like, oh fuck, you know,
Yeah.
like,
And
oh man.
to add to that too, it's like and doing that with no alcohol, with no numbing, like feeling all of the feels in its entirety. Like
mhm.
I feel like that's next level. Brittany,
Yeah.
do you feel
Oh
like
yeah.
that? Like with removing the alcohol and like going through all that shit?
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
this year, the fact that I haven't drank is tremendous in my opinion, because like the old me, past me, would have easily given up or
Mm.
started drinking because I was just stressed. Like we went through 2 months of having no POS system
Oh
because we
my.
got kicked off. The hemp industry, we can not even gonna get
Yeah.
into that. It's like a whole. But I mean, for 2 months, like I was like, how do I pay my people? How do we make money? Because can't take cards or anything right now. Like, how
Wow.
do we find a solution? And that is like a business killer moment to
Yeah.
where I was very stressed. Like, we didn't even celebrate, I didn't celebrate my birthday or our 2 year anniversary party for the bar because I was so
No.
like,
Mm.
I realized it and I was like, wow, I'm so stressed over these things that I have no control over, and I
Right.
didn't celebrate. And that's really sad. So it was like a moment for me to be like, all right, that can't be the normal
Mm-hmm.
moving
Yeah.
forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like things just happen. It's
Yeah.
okay. Keep
Right.
Well, and
going.
it's like the whole purpose of why you put together Sober Bar. But
Mhm.
I think that's such a like great reminder for people to like slow down in those moments because I think we can get so caught up. Um, we're all just doing our best and wanting things to work and so passionate about things, but we forget to slow down. So I know it's difficult for sure.
Yeah. And doing it without numbing those feelings is like so much harder than it needs to be. But the longer for me at least, the longer I'm sober, the more I'm sober, the easier it gets to deal with those feelings. At first,
Yeah.
it
Absolutely.
was incredibly hard.
Yeah, that resilience level, just like, and how you bounce back is just quicker
Yeah.
and quicker. Yeah, it's pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's surprising. Like,
Yeah,
it's seriously like shocking almost because, like, there's times when, like, for me to even realize that I didn't celebrate and, like, that's a problem and, like, work through those feelings in that moment, that would not have happened before, like,
yeah,
my sobriety journey. And not
right.
that I'm super, like, you have to be sober to be at the sober bar. Like, no, it's just about having options. Like, that's the option I chose was to be sober curious and to I mean, listen, if I go to Europe, I'm drinking wine with my dinner. Like it's an experience that
Yes.
I will not miss out because it's an option.
Mm-hmm.
However, I
Yeah.
feel so much better without drinking. Just me personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really resonate with just how, okay, sorry, I'm going to back up here. Like, because you're talking about all of the things that you've processed, and that you're willing to reflect on. And I think sometimes, and Renee and I have talked about this to, whatever, probably too much, but like, just because you remove a substance or something, that's, you could still stay there, like you just remove it and that's it. But if you are someone who's wants to be very curious and introspective and actually change a pattern or something, that is going to require a little bit more vulnerability. And I think even that word, people are like, ooh, that's tough, but curiosity, that's why I love that term, sober curiosity, and just curiosity in general. It's like, that's
Mhm.
a fun word. That's not like anything that says this is going to be forever. This is experimental. And so I just really want to encourage anyone, who's listening to this episode to know that there are options out there. No one's saying you have to do it this way or that way or forever, but like, what happens if you just choose to be a little curious and do something maybe just a little bit different this time around?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You end up with a little
Yeah.
fucking sober bar and you're crushing it, like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
like, come
Yeah.
on. It's so
It's like the
amazing.
it's like the supplement that we all need. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It's like that's that first
Mhm.
entry is like the curiosity and figuring shit out, but then having these sort of tangible elements that's able to like supplement that exploration
Mhm.
is so pivotal for people. And I recently went to an event and it was like out in California, and I was like, oh, they're for sure gonna have some kind of non-alc something
Mhm.
there. I was like, there's no way they don't. They didn't. And for me, I was
Mhm.
like, whoa, I feel a little pissed off about that actually. And so
Because it's
you're
not
just
fair.
like,
That's
because
not
it's
fair. Yeah.
not fair, y'all. Like, what the fuck? I was like genuinely
Mhm.
pissed. So, yeah, I think you're just like creating something, we've talked about third spaces too. And it's
Mhm.
just this space to like be together and connect with or without alcohol, and just having that option. I would want to ask, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, is this a marketing strategy meeting? But like, you literally sell curiosity in a bottle. Just saying.
Whoa, yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. And you're about
Awesome.
to
So
be
I'm
able
gonna
to
have,
bottle
yeah,
your own too.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Ex-
crazy.
Yep. Because
Yeah, that's
hey,
gonna
You
be a
gotta,
shirt as well.
yeah.
yes. Oh my
Curiosity in
God.
a bottle.
Yes.
I
Oh,
love these like brainstorming sessions.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I have so much other work to do, guys. I don't need to be making shirts, but I'm going to.
Fun part.
But
I
listen,
know.
I've got contacts though to help you with that. So
Yeah.
we can talk about that. So there we go.
Sweet.
Oh man. I want to ask you too, like what was something that was surprising for you in opening the little sober bar, like that maybe no one kind of prepared you for?
Um, I don't know. It's such a new concept that I was again curious about just like what their reactions were going to be.
Yeah.
Um, I guess the most surprising thing, I did not expect so many people to come up and ask for like different like vodka drinks or like Michelob Ultras and stuff. And I was like, it's a sober bar. And they're like, "Oh, I saw the bar word." And I'm like, that's
Wow. That's so
so
cool.
interesting to me that the concept, like when we were naming it, like I couldn't think of anything, and I'm like, what if we were just what we are,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes. Yes.
Like what would happen if we just said what we were? And it's cool to me that they come up and they ask for those things, and they're like, oh, this isn't the bar for me, and I'm like, oh well, have you heard of kava? Have you heard of
Mm,
hemp? Have you heard of cordyceps? And it gets them like, oh, well, I'm curious, and that they say that all the time. They come up, they're like, I'm curious, what is this?
Mm.
So
Wow. Oh my God.
it opens the door to a conversation, but I don't think I expected to hear people ordering like vodka sodas when I opened it.
That is such a like look into our psyche, I feel like, because like Mara and I've talked about that too, of like when we talk about sober curious, all that people hear is sober. But in this instance, they just see bar. They like don't, yeah, like they don't even
Yeah.
see the sober part, which honestly, I guess, kind of works in your favor. So, whatever gets people talking to you about stuff. But that's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we found out saying sober curious gets people not talking to us. People are like, what? No, that's not for me. And it's like, okay, never mind. But yeah, like what do they say? We like block out like what?
It's like when you read, you can read a full sentence that doesn't have like all the words in it, and you can still anticipate what the words are or whatever. Like you can still make a full sentence from it. It's like that concept, like all they see is bar, and you're at an event, which is like where people usually drink.
Yeah.
That is just so crazy to me.
So what is it like when, you start talking to them about all these other options and they're like, oh, like, what happens next?
Sometimes they order stuff to take home. Like a lot of times they do. And that's like the small footprint bottle shop. Like our trailer bar is a rolling bar and bottle shop. So we always have a plethora of like canned options for people to choose from. We do discounts on getting more than 4. So that way they're encouraged to like take some stuff home, try it. Like if you don't have to open it. It's totally fine.
Right.
So a lot of times that happens. Sometimes they say, oh, well, I know a friend, or I have a friend who really needs to hear about you. And they'll take a picture. Is it okay if we take a picture? Like we hear that a lot. And then sometimes even I talk to them about how even if you're having a party or an event, like yes, you have a bar, a regular traditional bar, you have your specialty drink, but what about the other friends who are there who don't drink? They would still appreciate having something, and a cooler of Cokes and Sprites is great if you like Coke and Sprite.
Right.
But it doesn't give you the same feeling that having a specialty cocktail does, like in a traditional setting or in a sober bar setting. And that's why like we keep this isn't like a ploy for booking us, but we keep our stuff like at a reasonably priced level to where if you just wanted to add on the sober bar to your event that you're already having, it doesn't break the bank. And we bring everything with us. Like you don't have to provide anything. Like we got it. We'll create something beautiful for you. But you should have us there. So like, how can we help you be more inclusive?
Yeah.
So those kind of conversations just happen. People are like, oh, well, this isn't for me. And then I'm like, but it's for you and your friends.
Right.
Gosh, yeah, Mara, you've heard that so many times. Like, oh, I know someone else who this would work for, or like them taking the drinks to go to look at it personally and not like out in the open. Like, and I get people have to like, it's their own journey, their own timeline, if that's what makes people feel safe. But it's so, interesting to me that they feel like they have to like, oh, take it to go so nobody sees that I'm drinking the non-alc, whatever.
I'm really curious just what this space is going to look like in 5 years. I think I say this a lot on this podcast, but truly, it's like someone else, we were talking about this, like the tobacco industry. And, it's like, I feel like these conversations we're going to be looking back on this and be like, what? Like, I can't believe we were talking about this. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But, the industry, the alcohol industry is so huge. And I'm just like, I don't know, like, will this always be will it always be not the norm to, to drink or, not drink, or I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. That's partly why we decided to stay little. Like, that's our small footprint bottle shop. It's like, you could put one anywhere. Like, why don't we just have one at every stadium? A little sober bar. Why don't you have I'm not trying to compete with all of the big marketing dollars or like whoever can pay the most to sponsor X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, I don't really care. We should
Yeah.
just have it. It should just be there because there's always going to be sober people regardless. Like,
Yes.
even if alcohol is the norm, there's still people who choose alternatives, and having one or two options when you have 6 different bars isn't,
Right.
it's not fair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's like how it comes back to that simplicity of like, why the fuck not? Like, it's really not
Mhm.
that much bigger of a deal. And if you are talking about like monetary value on the flip side of it, like there is money in this market because, as you said, there are sober-ish, pregnant people who are not drinking. So like, why not cater to that demographic also? Brittany, where do you see this going in the next like 5 years, or maybe what do you see for the little sober bar? I know you mentioned like, yeah, put it in the motherfucking stadiums,
Or at like
that would be
music
awesome.
festivals, you
Music
know?
festivals,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, what do you
Yeah.
have? Liquid death. That's your option, which is a great
Exactly.
option. But like, what else?
Yeah.
hmm Well, for us specifically, like that's our thing, is going to people where they're at, like being the mobile little sober bar. Like you should just have one everywhere you go. The industry right now, I think that the soda industry, like that's why I talk about our drinks as adult alternative options or adult alternative beverages. That's what we sell. We don't sell non-alc because that's also include. I mean, we sell some sodas, yes, and we do dirty sodas now. I just bought a lemonade company. It's a whole thing.
Thing.
We added some options.
What's a dirty
So
soda?
like, yeah, those are the sodas that have syrups, like flavored syrups, and then cream on top. So it's like the
Oh my god, it's like the Mormon, whatever
Yep.
it's called, like the Mormon
Yep.
wives. Dude,
Yeah.
in Utah, because nobody fucking drinks there, they have like
Mhm.
soda shops everywhere.
Yes.
What?
And they have like coconut cream and all
Yep.
this other shit.
Yep.
Whoa, cool.
So we just
Oh.
added that because I was like, well, I wanted the trailer and she was selling everything. And I was like, all right, I don't know. So the little sober bar, like I'm wrestling with the whole idea because I bought it. She called me Monday. I bought it on a Thursday. So like, I'm like, how are we going to incorporate this? And it's truly like with our ethos of options and being curious. It's like, okay, why wouldn't we have flavored lemonades and dirty sodas? Like, okay,
Cool.
that's fine.
It's
So I think that
fun.
like, it's like whatever people want, like let's just have it. Like why not? But anyways, getting back to it, the industry, like I think that the alcohol industry will always be there because there's always going to be people who like drinking. There is, I mean, as somebody who used to work for a high-end whiskey and wine, there's something to be said for like the different flavors and like the notes and of like a nice whiskey, like all of that. People are still connoisseurs. They're still going to enjoy that, I think. Um, but I think that the industry needs to make room for something like what we are, the little sober bar, versus trying to continue the industry the way it is, where a big brand like I'm trying to look and see what I have here. I have so much in this bar. But I don't think I have anything main. But like a big brand who can afford a billboard or can afford to sponsor a stadium so that they're there or sponsor a festival, that's always going to be like one or two options because I don't think there's enough room for brands to get that big to have the same amount of options as alcohol in the same space. Maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I think that right now it's a trend, and if we're realistic about it, we need more spaces like the little sober bar where you can go to it, get what you need, and go back to society, I guess, or socialization. Like it's a little slice of like paradise amongst everything else. Yeah.
I love that imagery.
Me too. I love paradise.
Oh my gosh. So, can you tell us more, like, more of insight into kind of your story and what got you? I know you kind of talked about like what brought you to the Little Sober Bar and creating it and now executing on it. But you just mentioned that you have a background in whiskey and wine. So, can you tell us a little bit more about that and maybe like where was the shifting point for you in maybe your own sober curious journey?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm curious because you said your corporate job. So what was that transition like?
Oh.
All the things.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so ADHD-preneur, that's the vibes. I always say I've lived a lot of lives because I went to
Heard
college for
that.
musical theater. Yeah, I went to college for
Cool.
musical theater and I played lacrosse in college. So like
Hold on. Hold on. How did I know that? Where did you play lacrosse at?
Birmingham Southern.
Okay. All right. Well, we just became even better friends because I played lacrosse in college too and playing lacrosse. Okay, continue.
Okay,
We'll
we're
talk
gonna
about
have to
that
have a
later.
whole thing about that. Yeah. So
Yes, yeah.
when you move back,
Yeah.
we'll be playing ball in the cul-de-sac. A vibe. Yeah.
Sell it, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to college for that and I really just I enjoyed it, but it wasn't, for me, really. So my best friend passed away and it really like shifted my reality. Um he we just hadn't talked in a long time and like it was really sad and anything. But for me, I was like, I'm tired of living I'm just doing this stuff I'm doing because it makes other people like happier. It's like the path I'm supposed to be on. I've always been that like rebel, just little hippie rebel in this world. And then it's not fair that I have to do these things. It's my whole thing. It's like shouldn't have to do this to live a happy life.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I met my partner and moved in with him and his parents, and we worked at McDonald's because that's all we could get, the only job we could get. We were the best employees and we got raises and like our 25 cents extra. I was like, heck yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but from there, I mean, it's just the service aspect. Like I've always had a servant's heart. Um, so from there, I went to another bar and worked up from serving to bar like pretty quickly, just because I was interested and again curious about like, oh, how do drinks made? And I should have known that like I'd be in the food industry later in life, but I was so
Mm.
like I have to grow up and be a person.
Mm.
Um, so I was like, how do I, and Miller, so it's like life is expensive. So I'm like, how do I make more money?
Right.
Uh, so my corporate life, I did some bookkeeping and front office help. And then I was an insurance agent for a few years, got pregnant, had my son, and opened my first retail space, like online retail space. So that's like where I really jumped into entrepreneurship because I was like, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to be home with my kid.
Mm.
And then there was a need because it was natural parenting. So in the suburbs, very hard to get like cloth diapers, and it was very
Very
hard
hard
to
to
get
get
Wow.
what?
Cloth
cloth
diapers.
diapers
Oh.
and all like the natural parenting things like baby wearing and all of that. It was really big in that time.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I jumped on that. I was like, yeah, I can. That's a great business idea. Like, how do I bring options to people again? Um, but then who was very successful in her own resale space in that same space was like, if you're just starting out, like I wouldn't continue. The industry is, and I was like, you know what? I trust you enough to be like, okay. And she wasn't wrong. Like like there were
Mm.
stores closing left and right, and I'm glad I got out when I did. Um, because it just changed.
Yeah.
Um, so
Why?
then
Because
COVID hit.
Amazon or what?
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
Damn.
Amazon and just like, well, all the baby stores closed for a little while. Like, it's like
Yeah.
Babies R Us. What else?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toys R Us, like
So,
all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, so it was just like a shift in the market. And so, I ended up closing that and we moved into the house we're in now. And in order to afford it, I was like, I need a job. So I ended up working at a wine and whiskey bar,
Mm.
after working at a liquor store. Because I was just like, I had my second baby and I'm like, I just need to do something at night. Like, I have to be home during the day. And getting back into the food industry didn't make me, but encouraged my alcohol. I wouldn't say I'm not, I don't say I'm an alcoholic, but like when you get off at 2 a.m. and all your friends want to go out, even though you have kids and you have to get up at 4 or 5 a.m.,
Oof.
you just, you ride it out, especially
You
when
go
you're in
with
your
it.
late 20s and you didn't have early 20s. I just, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go rock out. I didn't get to. Um, and it just became like too much. Then COVID hit, and I was luckily enough to get a corporate job from home, which was great. It was like office admin. But before that, before I left the whiskey and wine and whiskey bar, I helped raise funds for the industry in downtown Woodstock. So we raised about $13,000 for the
Wow.
industry
Wow.
during
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was like, we have to help people. Somebody has to do something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's like the story of Brittany. And then I bought this bar thinking, oh, it'd be a great side hustle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love to hear the evolutionary, picture of how it all unfolds. And because I feel like a lot of times we don't end up where we ever thought we were going to be, or if you asked
Mhm.
me 10 years ago what I'd be doing right now, certainly wouldn't be sitting here on our podcast talking to someone who is crushing the little sober bar, like
Yeah.
never. I would be like, what is that? And now I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. This is really cool. And I absolutely love learning about people's journeys. Like, it's so cool. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah. And we can always find too, which I think is really fun, is like these these lines of like how we're all connected in a very similar way in our stories, but it looks so different for you. And I hope that that can resonate with some of our listeners and our audience too, is that like a lot of the time we romanticize, I think, entrepreneurship and don't really fully understand the picture of like
Mhm.
where you came from in this space now, like how you got to this point and are continuing through entrepreneurship. A lot of the times people will see people who are doing really great and doing great things for the community, but then they don't see like the back end side of all the
Mhm.
shit that you had to go through and move through, and like all of these little elements that make up your story to be where you are. But I also hope that that's like inspirational for people to realize that like it doesn't matter where you come from, what you're going through. If you have this passion and this intention on
Mhm.
helping one another, amplifying one another, connecting, and like being part of something bigger than you, it's going to fucking work out. Like it
Mhm.
really will. So you sharing these elements of your like rocky story, you know what I mean? Like it's so interesting to us and important to us to talk to people like you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on because like it's cool. I love sharing different aspects of the story. Like every interview I've done, I'm sure I've let out a couple bits of new things here and there. Because it's interesting. I think that all entrepreneurs are a little bit uh, neurodivergent because you have to be in order to juggle so many different things, to try so many different, to even be strong enough to try. Like that's a big deal.
Hmm.
And all entrepreneurs who do that, like props to you because it's not easy. And especially like thinking about my journey and like all the things I've done, like I've done photography, I've done brand ambassador stuff. Like I've done so many little things that I think make me into a fantastic entrepreneur. And then the heart that I have, I mean, I feel like I'm bragging, but I'm just sharing the heart that I have with helping people. It's like it translates even into my employees. I'm like, what is your strengths and how can you contribute to this organization and follow your own story without me trying to micromanage or change you into what I need from you. So everybody in our organization is so fantastic and they have different strengths that add to what makes us great. Like I would not be able to do things without them. And as an entrepreneur, like you have to be able to trust others with your vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you really can't do it alone. You really cannot. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned through all this is like asking for you're asking for help yourself. Because you give so much support to other people, but it's really difficult sometimes for the person who has the vision to ask for the support. And being emotionally intelligent enough to like allow people to get in their zone and like growing and developing that is actually something that a lot of other leaders I don't think do, at least not in the corporate space. I don't want to shit all over corporate. It's for some people, but like not in my recent experience, at least.
Yeah. That's something that I tell my people all the time. I'm like, we're a small business with a corporate mindset. Like, I want to be in stadiums and in every state. Like, every suburb should have a little sober bar. Why not? But at the same time, like, I actually care about you as an individual and you as a person. And like, two of my girls are still in college, so they needed internships. And I'm like, you want an intern? You know, like one of them asked for one. She came up and she's like, I'm really nervous to ask you. And I'm like, please just ask, like, what do you need? And she's like, I want to do an internship with you. And I'm like, I'm on, like, what? I'm just a guy. Like, nah, bro. But she, like, when we got into it, I was like, wow, like, this is actually really interesting to me to be able to share the knowledge that I've gained with you and how it relates to your degree. Like I'm actually learning so much about you as a person, about me as a person, about me as a leader, and also just like the inner workings, because she's a psychology major. So like the inner workings of entrepreneurship and marketing, and like she's blown me away with what she's like been able to pick up and learn. And yeah, like I think that's important as an entrepreneur. You need to know how to learn from others.
Yeah, the capacity to be able and open to that. And it can be such an expansive journey. We were kind of talking about this earlier, and I've said this before, like, I feel like, you know, I've done plenty of drinking and drugs and all of these things, but like the most trippy experience has been this like sober, alcohol-free journey and the entrepreneur journey, like, and being single at this age, and like those three things coming together as one and being like, you thought that was trippy, you know, like this is fucking trippy, like, and you're exposed to so much, you at least you have the opportunity. And yeah, I guess sometimes that can feel hard to be able to hold the space for all of that, because I'm hearing you talk about your intern and how amazing that is, and all of the things just that one relationship has brought into your life. That's just one. Then you have everything else, you know, and it's like, holy fuck, this is so much, you know, but like in the best of ways. And so I really feel like it's this balancing act or dancing act of learning how to hold that space for this full life experience and to really be alive and not numb and open. So it sounds like you're doing that like in a very beautiful way, you know, not saying that it's all picture perfect, but it's beautiful, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think the beauty is in the story. It's in when you're writing a book, there has to be ups and downs or it's a boring story, you know? There has to be some great, amazing arches, and then there also has to be some valleys and lows, and like you have to resonate with the character, otherwise it's just like not a book, you know? It's like a magazine, or you're just getting information. You know, like it's not a story that you're invested in. Like there's nothing like traveling to a different world in a book. So for me, I'm like, that's what life is. You know, life is the book.
Yeah, I love that analogy. And just the exchanging of like of knowledge to one another, I think is so beneficial, because a lot of the time it can feel very transactional in a lot of these different elements, especially like in the workplace, or your to-do list, and all of like the very like tactical things can feel just like, I don't know, just not as fun, not as beautiful, of this exchanging of knowledge that will stick with you for a really long time, and it comes back in different and cool ways. And you being able to tell us more about your story each time kind of brings up another layer of you remembering kind of where you came from. And just like with this, of the it's not fair, like I haven't thought about that in so long, but it was such a big part of my life. Like it was like a running joke in my family for a really long time. So like these little like blossoming remembrance, like little flowers that kind of come up in my life, that I'm like, oh yeah, that's fun. It's just so important.
Yeah. Life is literally a trip. That's like something my friend's mom always said. She's like, life's a trip. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And like being able to experience it, like you were saying, Mara, like experiencing it to its fullest is like, it's actually wild. Like, especially like as a mom, like I'm experiencing so many different things. I have a middle schooler now, and that's a whole new thing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh man. But I'm so thankful that like I decided to become more aware of my life, because I don't know, number one, handling middle school without alcohol is very hard. But I don't know if I would have handled some of the situations as well as I have without being sober or sober curious. Like just being able to hold space for him to grow and us to have conversations versus just being a reactive parent where I'm like, listen, clean your room. No, I'm taking away X, Y, and Z. It's like we have more conversations like, hey, it seems like these things, video games or whatever, is your priority when your priority is supposed to be schoolwork, keeping your room clean, things like that. So like, let's take a pause and revisit your brain, like let your brain recalibrate and get back into what should be your priority, and let me help you through this versus just punishing him and taking things away, because like he's not learning anything.
Yep.
If I just take it away, he's not learning how to regulate himself, which I wish I would have learned.
Beautiful. Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. Like you are a present parent who has the emotional intelligence that, and your kids are learning that, like, and I don't know, did like any of us have that?
I mean, there's still some like guilt though, because like I wasn't a present parent, as present as I could be.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of how do I make up for it? But at the same, I mean, I've always kind of been open. We talk about a lot of things, but I definitely was a more reactive parent when I was drinking.
Sure.
I was like very dismissive too. Like, let's just go hang out with friends and so I can drink and you can play.
Yep.
But now it's like getting back into the type of parent I wanted to be.
Yes. And that's all.
And that's
all we have.
It's a whole battle.
Is right now.
Yeah.
Like the present moment, like, and I think that's still very incredible that you're making that choice now, and I think, who was I talking about this with? Someone yesterday about, they're pregnant and they're afraid that they're, going to mess up. And we're like, bro, you're going to mess up, that like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And, just like how we're talking about life, like what story would that be if you're like this perfect parent? Like, is there a perfect parent? Like, no, we look at our lives, our parents or, whatever. And it's like, sure, they could have shown up in different ways that maybe would have been supportive to us and blah, blah, blah. But like, we're constantly evolving. And someone told me one time, like, we're the evolved version of our parents, hopefully, like if we choose that path. And because I can still see within me tendencies of things that I've learned from my parents that maybe I don't necessarily agree with or something. And it's like, oh, there it is. That's that little learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, I have this choice now. How do I want to move forward? So, just kudos to you to choosing that, to be that intentional, bringing more intentionality into it, because it's so amazing, truly.
Yeah. I mean, my house is a mess. Listen, I'm not perfect.
Yeah. No one's saying that.
Yeah. There's no perfection in life. Like, you have to just, I was telling somebody this the other day, I'm like, it's so stressful trying to be perfect. It's so much pressure trying to be perfect, and it's exhausting, and there's always going to be something that you don't win at, like you're not perfect at. So like being able to take a step back and like allow things to just be is such a strength. It's incredibly hard when you're like in an overstimulating environment, like, yes, but for me, like when I was drinking, like I didn't have the capacity to do anything about that. Now it's like, I mean, I'm dealing with some health stuff, but like I see myself changing. I'm like, I want to do these things. Oh, I'll do a load of dishes. Why not? They're right there. Like, it's just I have more awareness and more energy to move forward in life. And so it's not like a pitch for being sober. It's just a pitch for like, you have the option to do whatever you want in life. You have the option to change things. You have the option to drink less, drink more, like whatever. Like, it's your life story. And you're the only one who can write it. So you have to make choices that align with who you are, even though it could be incredibly lonely or incredibly hard or whatever. Like, things get really hard before you level up. I know I was telling Renee that earlier. I was like, life gets real tough before you're about to just like change something big.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Right. Yeah. The breakdown before the breakthrough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it that you said something? Oh, the smaller moments, of, wow, I'm going to do the dishes right here now. I think sometimes when we think of like these, big life transitions or something, that it's like these big things, and it can be, but also it's like the little micro moments and the smaller things, that the everyday things that really make a huge difference in just our daily lives. Like, and to not, if anyone is thinking about being more curious about the substances they choose to use or whatever, maybe phones, whatever, scrolling, it doesn't have to be this. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, like,
no.
like highly don't advise it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but seriously, unless you want to age very quickly, very, 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 very quickly.
You guys, you should see my Grace. My grades are like,
I think I found one the other day, like in the back of my head. I was like, oh no, it's happening.
It's happening.
No, I mean, like, if you have the hustle and the drive for entrepreneurship, heck yeah. If you want to just have a hobby or a side hustle, that's also awesome. Like, I just think sometimes people get so caught up in this is how life's supposed to be. And like, I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that and I'm supposed to have these friends and I'm supposed to do this trip. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that. You have options. You can like YOLO your life, like I say that all the time to my kids. I'm like, yeah, whatever, like YOLO, like let's move on. But like, and it's just because like it's true. Like you can try different things. You can do different things. My daughter is involved in probably every single school club they offer right now. And it's crazy, exhausting, but like she loves it. And I was told, somebody said, you should not let her do that. Like, you should tell her to pick one or two, just because like it is overwhelming to be the parent to drive a kid to all the things. And like, you have I have two kids, so like double the thing. I have one kid who doesn't get involved in anything, and I have one who does all the things.
Right.
But I was like, I would much rather her experience as much as possible now than be curious about that later and not have the capacity or the ability to experience those things. So like, maybe I don't sleep tonight. It's fine.
Maybe like
it's okay
for the next 5 years.
Yeah, it's fine. We're all fine. Hair's on fire, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. That's like what my grandma said that too about like I think this is when I was in like high school or something like that, and I was kind of taken aback. My grandma's 98 now, so she must have been, you know, in her 70s or 80s at the time. But we were talking about dating and like relationships and stuff like that, and she was like, "Yeah, date as many people as you can. Experience life in so many different ways. I dated dancers. I dated this kind of person." So it's like the same kind of concept of like trying all these different things and not being so like put in this box of like, same with entrepreneurship. You can step in and out of entrepreneurship. You can have elements of entrepreneurship. You can have elements of these things in your life. But yeah, just like getting out there and trying these things and coming back to that, what you were saying about perfectionism, that you don't have to do the thing to be really fucking good at it. Like you could just do it just to see if you like it.
Yep. And if anybody has followed like me on social media and my story, like I have definitely tried a lot of things publicly too, because I believe in just try it. Who cares? If it doesn't work out, try something else. Like I've been a model, like I was a model for a while. I still would if somebody called me and said, "Hey, I'll pay you to model this hat or whatever." I'd be like, "All right, dope." Like I'm not shy of doing things. I think it's so cool to like be, what do they call it? A Renaissance man, where like you just have just many interests and you've tried things, and it's like it's fun in social settings too, when you're like talking about things and somebody will mention like, "Oh, I was watching a crochet video," and you could just be like, "Oh, I know how to do that. You may show you." You know, like being able to share those cool moments with people is like beyond cool.
Crochet club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add that to the list.
Yeah.
Well, I am just so happy to have this conversation and to make this connection with you, Brittany. And it seems like we just all connect on so many different levels. And thank you for sharing your story, sharing with the audience. We'll have everything linked to the Little Sober Bar, to Brittany, all the social media, where you can find the Little Sober Bar and how you can book them for your next event. I know they also have a calendar on their website of all the different events that they do. So yeah, until next time, Brittany, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, Brittany, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Anytime. I'd love to just chat. We could just be best friends and like every Friday, you know.
We could just hang out.
Yeah. I'm so down.
Yeah.
We'll start our own club, our Yap club. Cheers,
oh,
you
yes.
guys. Cheers. One last cheers.
Yay.